Hey everybody, welcome back to Astronaut Lunch. I'm Poppa Stonks. Today we have Bored Arb Yacht Club. Bored Arb Yacht Club is a tribute token to Bored Ape ecosystem. It all actually rewards in high BAYC, which is an ERC token that is fractionalized Bored Apes. So everybody check this out, hit their TG, and see everything that they're doing. With that said, today we've got Gojira speaking for Bored Arb Yacht Club. Gojira, how are you doing, man? Give your
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about what we're doing over at Bored Arb Yacht Club and how we plan to basically take it to where we think it can go. Through different types of strategic marketing, as well as trying to be innovative within the ecosystem itself. You don't see too many projects out there that are paying tribute to something like Bored Ape Yacht Club. So we've got some cool tricks up our sleeves and utilities that we're excited to share and take this as far as we think it can go.
That's awesome, man. So tell me, how did how did this project get started? What, where did you guys come up for the idea for this?
For sure. So I've known a few guys on the team. I don't know everybody on the team, but I was reached out to by Air Power Luke, who's in here now, and him and I have been, involved in basically just investing across DeFi for a good about over a year now that I met Luke. So he reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in joining the team in the role of the voice representative because they plan on doing a bunch of these AMAs. And I had a look at the white paper as well as the website and the idea behind it. And I was very excited to say yes. I personally really like it when things are doing when projects are doing stuff that are trying to incorporate other aspects of different ecosystems into themselves. And that's exactly what is going on here. Now, in terms of how it all started, I know that ultimately, when the team discovered Fractum Protocol, which is the protocol that basically issues the high BAYC token in the form of a fractionalized token that represents a pool that has certain NFTs in it. So in the high BAYC's case, they their pool has Bored Apes in it. And then they issue a token on that so you can own part of the actual pool that is storing those Bored Apes. And the play on words with the with Bored Arb Yacht Club versus Bored Ape Yacht Club and the actual increase in users on the Arbitrum chain, everything kind of came together, one thing after the next. And when the team got everybody who was going to be involved in the core team on board, everything started to move really quickly. Moving quickly for a number of reasons. Ethereum is blowing up, Arbitrum is blowing up, and we could be getting ourselves back into what we could be looking at another bull market just around the corner. Now, I'm not saying that we will, but I am seeing a lot of similarities to what happened in 2020 when everything started to kick off. We see what's happening in the U.S. right now with the fractional reserve banking system and how it's kind of slowly starting to be shown that, hey, this might not be the best thing. And we're getting a lot of money coming back into the market right now. So there's always going to be, we're always going to need a catalyst to take this to where it needs to go. But as of right now, things are kind of working in crypto's favor, as long as there's not any, horrible event that's going to come up and take us back to the crypto stone age. I feel like we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%. I think we have had some pretty bullish catalysts for crypto past couple or so. Whether that's going to hold up, probably might trade sideways a little bit, but that's so great for alts. Once Bitcoin and ETH trading sideways, alts normally start flying. So yeah, it was probably a great to do this, and you know, TV back up is definitely an awesome time to get this started. So a bit more about the rewards. I know just by holding the token itself, you get rewards and wrapped ETH on Arbitrum. Now the BAYC reward, how do those work? I know there's a vault.
Yeah. So essentially, we have a tiered holder system. And the reason that we wanted to do that was to incentivize our whales for holding. So there is a 8% buy tax and a 12% sell tax. And out of those two taxes, there is wrapped Ethereum reflections on Arbitrum chain. And that goes to any holder, no matter how much they're holding, they're going to get proportionate to their wallet size, that a share of those Ethereum rewards. So I've been selling mine and then topping up my actual BAYC bag with them, but I've made about I'd say about $45 just in the Ethereum reflections, which is awesome. I contributed to the private sale. I don't have a massive bag, but I am getting those rewards, and it's sweet. So the Ethereum reflections is just kind of like the cherry on top of this whole thing, because I really do see a lot of positive price action in our future as we, roll out this marketing that I spoke about earlier. But on top of that, if we're looking at the actual tiered holder system, if you hold between 1 million and 3 million tokens, you will receive access to a Telegram whale channel, as well as our get a whitelist for our NFT collection. So for the minting, you'll be whitelisted if you have that. If you're holding above 3 million tokens, you are going to get access to the high BAYC vault rewards. Now, with that, you're going to be getting, it's the same amount from the token tax is being put away to the vault rewards as is the wrapped Ethereum reflections. So if I were to get $45 in the last couple of days just on the Ethereum, if I was sitting with the 3 million in the tier 1 holders, then you'd be sharing the same amount of basically token tax. You'd be sharing that with a much, much, much smaller group of people, because we don't have too many people in that whale group, or sorry, the tier 1. So you're going to be splitting those rewards with a lot smaller sample size of people. So those are the two tiers that we have right now in terms of what you need to hold to get those extra rewards. But anybody who's holding anything, like myself, who's not in the tier 1, I'm still getting my Ethereum reflections, and it's awesome, because it's not in a lot of these tokens, when they started doing these reflections, they were reflections with the actual token itself. And that created a little bit too much sell pressure, obviously, because when people get those reflections, a lot of the time they want to sell off, and they just maintain their initial buy and they sell that stuff off, which creates, a whole bunch of tiny little sells on the actual chart. When it's being given to you in a different asset that doesn't actually affect the chart itself, it helps out in terms of the price action of the token itself quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely, man. I don't like tokens that reflect in the native token, because you're right, it does create sell pressure. A lot of people try to do this to generate some of income, especially when you've got a high volume token. So if it's rewarding in the native token, it does create a lot of sell pressure. I like the way.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, where this all kind of started with reflection tokens was what pretty much was SafeMoon. Like, you're getting it was a 10 and a 10 on that 10% buy, 10% sell, if I remember correctly. And if you got in early, people were making a lot of money. But we all know what happened with that token, with SafeMoon and the copycats that are out there. And then something in terms of solidity came through, which was swap to liquefy. So what it does is it accumulates a certain amount of tokens and then sells those tokens and redistributes those funds back to the holders in a different asset. So rather than having everybody sell their tokens across the entire board, the contract does it itself, and it makes it so that it's a lot, you're not going to notice the $10 sells rather than everybody accumulatively selling their reflections, right? So it's kind of like we see this natural progression where we started with SafeMoon and reflection tokens, and then how we've kind of figured out little things in between to make this to like improve the smart contract capabilities. And that's where we're at now in terms of being able to reflect or give reflections back to people in a different asset. So we kind of owe it to SafeMoon a little bit for starting the idea of having these reflection tokens, but at the same time, we got to build off of what worked and what didn't, and then eliminate what didn't work and apply it into the smart contracts looking forward. So that's where we're at with the Ethereum reflections, as well as the high BAYC vault rewards. That's going to come in form of the same way. So when the smart contract takes that tax, it eventually accumulates Ethereum, and then that Ethereum is used to purchase high BAYC, which is then reflected back to the tier 1 holders.
Yep, 100%. You know, having just one contract sell is much better than all the tiny micro cells, especially on a chart. So that's
and
definitely.
It also gives us the capability to kind of counteract them with a buyback if that's the situation, right? Like when it does sell, we know when the contract sells. We can't control, nor do we want to control 700 holders wallets and having them sell when they want to. We can't just keep track of that and try and time these buybacks that way. If we know when the contract does it, we can time those buybacks to counteract them and maintain that positive price action.
All right. Sorry about that.
No worries. Got a very respectful community, though, I have to say, because not people aren't muted. So it could be a free-for-all here, but they're actually being very respectful and letting you ask the questions and letting me give my answers. So I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, I've actually, I've never really had any issues. Maybe sometimes somebody might slip up and unmute themselves on accident, but I've never had any issues as far as, any outbursts or anything like that. So they know that they'll get auto banned real quick. So
yeah.
So the thing I'm actually most interested in, man, is I want to hear about these NFTs. You got the NFT and marketplace coming. A bit about those.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I mean, it wouldn't really be much of a tribute token to, arguably the biggest NFT project in the world if we didn't come out with a collection ourselves. So the collection that we're coming out with, if anybody has had a chance to look through the white paper as well as the actual website, you're going to see a lot of really well-designed digital art. And that is all coming from our design team. So we definitely have the capabilities to make a really interesting and fun NFT project. But at the end of the day, the NFTs are only as good as what they allow you to do. Like, this is such a common misconception when it comes to NFTs that it's just a JPEG and that's all that it is. For those that don't know, if you had a Bored Ape, then you got airdropped a Mutant Ape. And that Mutant Ape floor price right now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't actually, let me just get it up here. But you basically got, at a certain point, I know that they were, the floor price was 10 Ethereum. So Mutant Ape Yacht Club, and that would have just been airdropped to you for holding an actual Bored Ape. So these things come with different utilities when it is, when an NFT collection is doing what it's supposed to do. So the floor price right now for a Mutant Ape is 12.2 ETH, which is roughly $25,000. And that's just for showing support and holding your ape if you got them in early. Now, with that being said, when NFT projects release their NFTs, they need to come with some sort of utility. So we've got NFT utilities that are going to complement our actual ecosystem. I haven't been given the go-ahead to basically release what those utilities are. I've basically just been told that what I'm allowed to release right now in terms of information on the actual NFTs is that they are going to come with multiple utilities within the ecosystem of Bored Arb Yacht Club. And then in terms of, wait, I just want to make sure that I'm not going to release anything here. Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I can say. So we've got a really good design team, and these NFTs are actually going to come with utility that is going to complement the ecosystem for anybody who is a Bored Arb token holder or anybody who is holding the actual Bored Arb Yacht Club NFT collection.
Damn, thought we were going to let you slip up and drop some alpha real quick.
I'm pretty good at keeping my mouth shut when I need to. I've made the mistake before, and I've never felt worse about anything in my life. So I make sure that the people who are giving me the information, I don't give away any more than I can. And the way that I do that is by not asking the question, "Hey, what is the utility?" So I do know more, but I don't know enough that I'm going to slip up and give something away.
All right. So you don't have to know like what the mint price will be for these, do you?
Well, let me. I've just asked if I can release any of that information, so I will, as soon as I get answered, I'll let you guys know. Outside of that, I will, basically I'll just wait, but I don't want the whole AMA to be held up on finding out whether or not I can say this. So in terms of mint price right now, to be determined.
All right. Now the marketplace, is this going to be a Bored Arb Yacht Club marketplace? Are other people going to be able to list on it? Are you going to use third party? Like, I don't even know what marketplaces are listing Arb NFTs.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the reasons behind it is there's not really a standout right now in terms of Arbitrum and NFTs. But the beautiful thing about Arbitrum is that it does solve a lot of the big issues that Ethereum mainnet faces when you're doing something like a mint, right? Everybody knows the stories of like failed transactions and wasted gas. And if you're getting yourself into a gas war, I remember at the peak of the bull market, somebody paid 1 Ethereum for gas. And that at the time, it was like $3,600 in Ethereum. So it ended up being like, this is an absolutely absurd thing. Arbitrum solves those problems in terms of the gas situations. Now, even with a gas war, you're still going to find yourself paying a little bit of gas, but nowhere near what it is on Ethereum. So trying to spearhead the Arbitrum's main NFT marketplace, it's a huge goal. It's going to take a lot of work, but that is what the team is basically planning for. We want to make something that is going to be accessible and easy to use for both Bored Arb Yacht Club NFT holders and token holders, as well as other NFT projects. So the goal is to have an actual marketplace that is going to be supporting as many Arbitrum projects that there is, that there are, because there is not a standout right now that is listing Arbitrum NFTs, right? Like you see other platforms in terms of like Launchpads or, Launchpads is the one that comes off the top of my head. They've implemented Arbitrum when it comes to that, but you're not really seeing too much out there as the front runner when it comes to Arbitrum and NFTs. So that's our goal. That's what it is.
So, with this marketplace, is it something that's already in development or has been developed and just waiting to release?
Yeah. So beta testing and stuff like that, we want to make sure that everything works super, super well when the time comes to actually release it. We have basically scheduled in our roadmap right now. What we are trying to do is get volume right now. That's the main goal, because nobody cares about your token. Nobody cares about your utilities. Nobody cares about anything if nobody's, interacting with the smart contract and actually, buying or selling, right? So we want to focus on volume before we start focusing on, getting our main utilities out there. Just because, again, I say this all the time, you could have the best utility in the entire world, But if people are not interacting with it, then it's not going to go anywhere. So what we need is engagement. What we want and what we need is engagement with the actual token, people joining the Telegram, people interacting with us, and we end up making a name for ourselves in terms of Arbitrum chain, as well as in the actual NFT space as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think making a name for yourself, especially in Arbitrum. Arbitrum, like you said, has been blowing up. Lots of volume on there. So something like this, where projects could list their NFTs on there, could definitely bring a lot of eyes to the project. And would there be any any revenue coming in from that would go back into the token?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is, in terms of our token tax, there is coming back into marketing and development, as well as buybacks and burns. And then when it comes to the actual NFT mints, as well as the marketplace and the revenue that is going to be created through that aspect of the Bored Arb ecosystem, there will be that real yield will actually come back into the ecosystem of token holders as well as NFT holders, whether that be in the form of marketing or that be in the form of buybacks and burns, airdrops, partnerships, stuff like that. But the goal here is to expand, not to, basically have some, I see it a lot in other projects. I work in crypto full time, so I get approached to be on teams in terms of an advisory role or a marketing role or doing this like an AMA side of things. And when I have a look at their tokenomic structure and I see what's actually happening, I know the marketing wallet and it's not being reflected the way that that much marketing money should be. And that normally means one thing. It means that the team themselves are lining their pockets a little bit. So I turn down that work when I see it. But when like I said before, I've worked with Luke a few times in the past, as well as some of the other guys on the team. I've got full confidence in the team that, the main goal here is to get this to as many eyeballs as possible. And the best way to do that is by spending money. So as revenue comes back into the project, whether it be through the token tax, whether it be through the other utilities that I just mentioned, the NFTs and the NFT marketplace, that money, the revenue from that will come back into the project to try and expand as far as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, as far as Luke goes, I kind of blind aped the private sale just because of Luke. He's the one that told me about it. So, I've definitely got, I've got some faith in this one.
I did the same thing, man. I did the same thing. I saw the website, I saw the art, and I went, okay, where do I send my ETH?
I didn't even see the website. I just clicked the link and sent some ETH.
Well, that's a beautiful thing about the industry, man. Like when you look, I'm not going to sit here and tell people that crypto is the safest place to, throw some money around. It's so rampant with scams and bad projects and rugs and honeypots and all this stuff. But when you get through that and you learn a little bit about what there is to look out for, and you also meet people, like Luke, like Tim, like a lot of the guys that are, spearheading Bored Arb Yacht Club, it's nice to be like, oh yeah, I got confidence in this, that. The only thing we are subject to here is market volatility. There's no risk of exploits, hacks, scams, anything like that. Like I know the team, and I'm very confident in the team themselves to run an honest project. And sometimes that is the catalyst that takes a project where it needs to be, is honesty and transparency. And the team is priding themselves on the fact that basically all information is out there, everything is public. And we just want everybody to feel as safe as possible, because the goal is to, create a safe environment for people to participate in Bored Arb Yacht Club, which is kind of a way to fractionally own an actual Bored Ape, right? I'm even if I had this 60 ETH or whatever it is to buy one, I don't think I would, but it is cool to be a part of the fractionalized aspect of it with the high BAYC.
Yeah, and I actually could have got mint bored apes and I didn't. I
Oh,
kind
oh
of,
man.
as ever since, things happen. I wasn't an NFT guy. Slowly I've been getting more into NFTs now lately, but back then I just didn't see the value in them at all.
It's such a tricky thing to try and time and predict what's going to do well, what the next trend is. I'm kind of the same way as you. I only started to see the value in NFTs once these projects had established themselves to a 10 to 30 Ethereum floor price. And for me, I don't feel comfortable investing that amount of money into one thing. I don't like to over leverage myself into one asset, and an NFT is such a gamble. But with that being said, when you get into the right collection, you can find yourself in a very good situation. Like even through the bear market, Bored Apes were still sitting at, a ridiculous floor price. And even with Mutant Apes right now, floor price being about 25 grand, it's pretty incredible, right? So it's about finding the projects that you think have a good team behind them and that are going to actually deliver on the collection themselves. And that's what we're trying to relay to everybody who's interested in Bored Arb Yacht Club, that as we start to expand and make more partnerships, that hopefully that is one way that people can see the sincerity of what it is we're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, Bored Apes, the NFT market itself is basically, it's an auction-based market based off of community. And, if you don't have the community there or they lose interest, then those NFTs are, basically become worthless. Unless they have some added utility to them. And, a lot of things, you had a lot of famous people, a lot of influencers, and everybody really get into the Bored Apes. So that kind of pushed it too. So speaking of partnerships, man, what kind of partnerships have you guys been working on? Have you been in contact with anybody? I know, I've seen some pretty bullish people in the chat and in the background as well. If you want to talk about that a little bit, or if you can.
Yeah, absolutely, I can, man. So as of right now, we've got a partnership with Kid Crypto and Walter, relatively big Twitter influencers out there. We've got some stuff coming up with them that is pretty exciting. We have been reaching out for partnerships across a lot of different call channels, as well as different lounges, such as this one here. We're working with Crimson Guard, which is a Telegram, basically like bot service, I guess is the best way I can.
Yeah, we all know Crimson.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah. We're working with Coin Paprika, Live Coin Watch. God, what else do we got? We've got a lot of different things. Oh, yeah, Crypto.com. There is some talks with Crypto.com. And then obviously the main one that we want to really push, the main goal, I should say, is an actual endorsement or partnership with Bored Ape Yacht Club. Now, they are a massive, massive ecosystem that probably get reached out to all the time. So this is going to really require a lot of volume. This is going to require a lot of community engagement before they even entertain the idea. But again, that is what we're focusing on now before we try and focus on anything else. We just want to make sure that we can get volume and make a name for ourselves within the ecosystem. Outside of what I just mentioned, we've got a lot of other stuff that's going to be coming up in terms of like our ad campaign this week. Our ad campaign is going to be on nomics.com, livecoinwatch.com, crypto.com, coinbase.com, Binance, Coin Paprika, Blockspot, CoinLore, BlockSeifu, Crimson Guard. We've got you guys here, so I'm just reading off the list here. DexTool promos as well as trending. And then we are looking at, sorry, that's just this week that we got. And we're trying to take this week by week, day by day, trying to walk before we run type situation. But with the marketing wallet, with everything that we have in terms of what was raised and what is being ready to spend, we're putting that money where it needs to be, which is marketing. So that's why we've got such a in-depth list of marketing this week, trying to get this out to as many people as possible. And then also we want to eventually speak with Fracton Protocol and actually get them to endorse the Bored Arb Yacht Club at the same time. Again, they are an absolutely massive protocol that is dealing with, millions and millions and millions of dollars in assets as NFTs, tokens, what you want to call it. So these are our big goals, but we're setting milestones in between, the Bored Arb Yacht Club endorsement, as well as the actual Fracton protocol endorsement. We're setting milestones in between that, which makes it easier for us to work towards that. And then the next one, and then the next one, so on and so forth, so that we're not just, coming into an AMA saying, hey, we're going to get an endorsement from Bored Arb Yacht Club with nothing in between. That sounds like, I personally wouldn't believe it. And I would want to see how the team is working towards that endorsement before I actually believed anything like that. So that's the reason why I'm giving away the information of what we're doing in between our big goal, as well as, the mini milestones along the way. Because, again, unless you're paying an absolutely ridiculous amount of money, you're not going to get an endorsement from somebody like Bored Arb Yacht Club or Fracton Protocol just because you launched a token. You need to kind of earn your keep before they're even going to entertain the idea. And that's what we're doing now between the AMAs, between the ad campaign that we got going on, community engagement, making sure that, for me, look, I don't know how some of the guys on the team do it. I personally know that there's members on the team that have been up for 36 hours straight, just grinding away at this. And I need my beauty sleep. That's just the bottom line. But there are people that are working really, really hard, showing how much belief they have in this. And it feels good to be a part of a team that is willing to put the work in and actually willing to do the legwork or the groundwork to get this where, we all believe it can, we all believe it can be, right? We're looking for $1 million market cap, man. That is the first milestone goal before we start to think about anything else. So the way we do that, marketing and ad campaigns.
Yeah, definitely. So besides, the obvious marketing on Telegram, Dex Tools, Twitter, what kind of is there any kind of off the wall marketing, out of the box, outside the box marketing that you guys are looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. So marketing in crypto is such a strange thing because what worked last month won't work this month, and what works next month is not going to be the same as what's working now. So you can find yourself throwing money at a lot of things and not getting any ROI on it. And that is one of the biggest killers to a project is it doesn't matter if you have $100,000 in marketing money. If you spend it stupidly, you're not going to get an ROI and it's not going to help the project. So the main thing that we're focusing on in terms of marketing right now, what we're doing is doing what we've seen other projects do that actually work and avoiding doing what other projects have done where you saw that it didn't really kick back any sort of new investment or new community members or new followers, whatever it may be. In terms of off the wall marketing, yeah, there's little things that we're doing in terms of, getting this out to potentially untapped markets, like untapped demographics. But at the end of the day, the reason why Telegram marketing and Twitter marketing and AMAs, the reason why they're so popular is because they work. So we have been putting some of the marketing budget towards things that are a little bit more off the beaten path, whether that be certain bots that are actually running ads on the bottom of them. We don't know what the actual ROI on that is going to be, but it could be a market that is a little bit untapped, where it could get some new eyeballs on the project that wouldn't have seen it otherwise. But for the most part, we're sticking with right now, trying to get our YouTube partnerships lined up, our Twitter partnerships lined up, as well as the typical marketing, which is coming across doing these AMAs in lounges like yours, in lounges like, we did about, I think this is our fifth one since launch on Friday. So we've tried to consistently maintain a level of communication between whether it's our community or new communities like the Astronaut Lounge, or, you know, just trying to make sure that our community sees that we're putting in the work when it needs to be done, as well as trying to get new people into the project, like coming into your lounge and speaking to your community.
Yeah, 100%. So, you know, what other AMAs have you guys done so far? I know you've had some pretty big ones. If you want to touch on those, just so everybody knows.
Sure. Okay, so we did Block Seifu. Block Seifu also audited our contract and ended up making a few changes for us so that audit came across as, it needed to be increased in score. We really wanted our security to be a primary aspect of. We don't want anybody to be concerned as to whether or not the smart contract is going to be working for anybody who wants to invest in it. So Block Seifu, that's why we got the audit with them. They're reputable. Reputable and reasonable, I should say. And then we lined up an AMA with them as well. And then I can't believe this. I'm drawing a blank on who else we did. Luke, if you're in here, can you tell me? Oh, we did the manager's calls. Yeah, sorry, Luke. I'm drawing a blank. We did manager, we did Block Seifu, and we did another one, right?
Yeah, no worries. Hey, I got to keep my voice down. My wife is sleeping next to me, so. But yeah, we did Achilles. We did the manager's call. Yep.
All right. Don't worry about it. I don't want you to wake your wife up, Luke. But yeah, so we've done Achilles, managers, Block Seifu, and now we're here. Is that it? I feel like we're missing one. But either way, the point is to try and cover as many different communities as possible, so that again, not just the same like. These call channels that kind of work in groups, I've noticed. You know, there's one channel that kind of supports another two, and they help each other out. So if you were to do an AMA with one of them, chances are you're going to be doing an AMA to the same people listening. If you do go with the other two, so what we're trying to do is promote this to as many call channels that don't really have any correlation with the previous ones that we're doing. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it kind of comes back to bite you in the ass that you're doing a call channel that maybe doesn't have as much engagement as they told us that they had. But so far, everything's been pretty good. Everything's been working the way that we want it to. And these AMAs have all had roughly around 100, if not more, participants in them, with a lot of really good questions at the end. And, you know, this one right now is basically going on that same route. We've got 100 people in here. And if we do decide to open this up to questions, I'm sure that the community is going to have some pretty good ones.
Yeah. I mean, actually, normally they don't have any questions because I try to ask them all myself.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so let's touch on. So, are there like any alpha groups? I know there's some ARB alpha groups out there. I'm not in any of them. This is actually my first ARB play. So, are there any alpha groups out there that are involved?
Involved with us? I mean, so are you? So we do have the Hall of Legends.
Yeah, I mean,
the Hall of Legends is a pretty stacked room, if you ask me, of people who are either big in the industry, have launched successful projects in the past, have a really good following. So that's kind of our own alpha group. And we will be offering for tier 2 holders and tier 1 holders access to the actual Telegram whale channel. That's going to have plays in it for a number of different things, but primarily, we want that to be a place where people get what they pay for. So if you find yourself being a tier 2 holder or a tier 1 holder, you're going to find yourself in a position to make some good plays. Sorry, Luke, did you have something there?
Yeah. So earlier you had mentioned some AMAs. I do think we may have left off the Kid and Walter show. We did partner with them, and they are going to be supporting our project throughout the life cycle of it. And what that means is we'll be able to hop on the Kid and Walter show every Sunday, schedule depending, and be able to show our project. So just yesterday, we actually had our inaugural AMA with that channel, and these guys, they only promote alpha level projects. So it was really cool that we were able to get a to get the spotlight, in with some of these other prime alphas, and going to continue to do so. So it's really cool to immerse with the Carrot community, and then be able to do that on a consistent basis. And you guys had mentioned earlier, are we engaged in some other alpha groups? We are. But those groups we are not going to name just yet until we finalize some deals, which should be taking place tonight. But they are very bullish. And when we do announce it, I think everybody in this room is going to recognize the names.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. So let me see. What else have we not touched on here? So the main community is right now just currently in Telegram. Do you guys plan on, I know a lot of the NFT communities on Discord. Do you guys plan on opening up a Discord at some point?
Yeah, it's funny how that works, eh? Like, depending on what area of this industry you're in dictates what messaging app you use. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, Telegram right now, being that it is Telegram is the place to be, and NFTs as of right now, they're not experiencing the same sort of hype that they were when basically, these things became really popular. Discord is something that will come down the line when the actual community needs it. But for right now, I feel like we're able to relay all the information that we need to, as well as basically take care of all customer support, investor support, everything like that, just through the actual Bored Arb Yacht Club Telegram. But again, as soon as it feels like this is going to benefit the project by migrating a chat over to Discord, then yeah, that's what's going to need to take place. Is the same thing that goes for all the partnerships too. As soon as we feel like this is going to be mutually beneficial, primarily being beneficial for the actual token, the investors, and the Bored Arb Yacht Club ecosystem, that's when those partnerships will take place. So that same mentality pretty much applies to everything. If it's going to benefit the actual token and the ecosystem, then the answer to the question is yes.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, I think just the aspect alone, I think it would be beneficial at some point to get a Discord going. I don't know, like you said, it is kind of weird how different different aspects of crypto take on different platforms. But I think the majority of the NFTs and NFT projects are on Discord.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, like Telegram is, as much as I love the app Telegram, and I love it for a number of different reasons, but I actually get excited when I see these updates come into it. And now there's different things you can do to your chat where you can separate it by topics, which is essentially what Discord is. So I feel like we're slowly, I don't know about everybody else, and I'm sure everybody's experience is different, but for me, I haven't had the best time on Discord. I get a little bit confused sometimes as to what to do. And I mean, I work in this stuff all day, so I can't imagine it's because I'm an idiot. I mean, I am an idiot, but I feel like I can figure out how to work these specific apps. So Discord, for some reason, the UI and UX has never really meshed well with me. And now that I see that Telegram is implementing some of the same things, kind of closing the gap between what Discord's advantages were, I feel like maybe on the next bull run, we'll start to see some of those NFT projects migrating themselves over to Telegram. But again, I don't know. And at the end of the day, if everybody is still on Discord when it comes to NFTs, then, that's where we'll be.
Right. Yeah, I actually, I started off, I came from Discord. So, and I kind of got stuck here in Telegram because, this is where 99% of crypto projects start off is on Telegram. So, that's
Absolutely.
why but, I'm a pretty big Discord myself, and, I was used to it. And I, for the longest time, I refused to even click on a Telegram link. I thought everything was a scam.
You're probably right.
I mean, seriously, man. Like even on, before I was in Discord, I was on Facebook or Reddit, and just people would post Telegram links in these Facebook groups, and I just assumed it was a scam. I don't know why. It was just one of those things, but it is kind of how the social media plays in the whole thing. Remember when everything was done on Reddit? Everything just keeps evolving, and eventually maybe somebody will get it right, and everybody will be on one platform.
Well, we can hope for that, but you never know.
Yeah.
Luke, did you have something there?
Yeah. So I know you guys had mentioned earlier regarding NFT utility. We're not going to establish the floor price just yet. We're still making some assessments. The reason why Tier 2 is going to be so attractive is not only does it offer people to enter into the well room, which in of itself is more than just updates, right? So the well room provides people who are in there exclusive promos that will only be given to folks that are actually in the well room. So Tier 2 holders are going to be able to get some promos such as certain time periods. They'll be able to buy tokens, and they'll get a percentage boost to the tokens that they buy. We're not going to announce exactly when it is, just to keep, I guess, supply and demand balance, right? But yeah, so the well group's going to offer that, but also the whitelist for NFTs, right? So whenever we do end up launching our NFTs, we hope in May, those NFTs are actually going to come with some utility that are going to be very attractive, that people who are in Tier 2 are going to be able to purchase before the general public, and they'll probably sell out before then. But what they're going to offer, right? The goal here is you want to get to Tier 1, and being Tier 2 is a stepping stone to that. So getting whitelisted access to these NFTs, the utility that they're going to offer is going to be two. Well, I'll name two right now. One is going to be staking reward boosts. That's pretty typical. You do see that in DeFi where people offer that, but we're going to make these really attractive. And then for the Tier 1 holders, we're actually going to offer vault reward boosts, and that's going to be extremely attractive. So again, this is a game. This is a game of economy of scale, and making sure that we figure out the perfect balance to get the math just right, so we can maintain constant buy pressure without blowing our marketing funds nor our vault funds, in one go. We've got a tokenomic strategy that we think is going to be able to sustain this concept long term, and those NFTs are really going to be attractive whenever they do come out.
Hey, since you mentioned it, when staking, is this going to be a custom contract that you guys are having done for yourselves, or are you going to use a third party staking?
So we're still looking at some options on that one. More to follow, but obviously we want to utilize we want to go the most economical route possible to get these contracts written up to where they're going to integrate with the existing one. So discussions are being had on how we're exactly going to approach this. We know what we want to do. We know how we want to do it. We just don't know who we're going to do it with, or whether or not we're just going to write it ourselves. So more to follow. But we're looking at May to get these bad boys actually ready for mint.
Awesome. I definitely love staking, and I would love to just toss my tokens in there and leave them for a while, and just let that build, while you guys are still building. So the sooner the better for me. Now, if you were to go with a third party, the third party staking app like Sphinx or something like that, which I'm not even sure if they handle Arbitrum or not. But if you were to go with somebody like that and say, for instance, they were to get hacked, what would you do to protect the holders, to guarantee the holders safety and something like that? Like, would you be reimbursing them, or how would that go?
So I'll go ahead and take that one, Luke, if you don't mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Essentially, going with a third party would, within our agreement with them, that would need to be determined first and foremost. Otherwise, I wouldn't, and I think I can speak on behalf of the team here, not feeling comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting the funds of the tokens of our investors at risk in terms of something like that if they weren't going to be able to reimburse that. So the answer to that question, in my opinion, would be that we would actually be creating the staking DApp ourselves with a audited MasterChef contract that is going to be able to give both the investors as well as us as a team the peace of mind knowing that it wouldn't actually be at risk, right? So take the necessary security and safety precautions so that we don't really even need to entertain the idea of getting hacked or somebody else getting hacked at the expense of Bored Arb Yacht Club token holders. You know what I mean?
Yeah, perfect. And I like that answer as well. Better to, if you're gonna be responsible for holders, to best that it stays within the project, in my opinion.
100%. Safety and security comes first, regardless of what's the point in launching something if you're not feeling safe with the actual underlying code with it. So when it comes to something like a staking contract or just even a smart contract, having that audited is, in my opinion, absolutely 100% necessary.
Yeah. And just to throw this out there, you guys had the audit and KYC done previous to launch. So
yep, absolutely, with Block Seifu.
Yeah, I see a lot of these people, they'll launch and then get an audit after. Like, who cares? Like, it's already launched. Why are you getting an audit now? But
yeah, it's such a ridiculous thing to say. Hey, give me your money, and then I'll do all the security stuff after. It's like, wait, what? No, that's not how this works. So. Having that done before, again, was a necessary precaution. And again, just in terms of every project out there, if they're not audited, if they're not taking necessary steps pre-launch, I would suggest doing a lot more research and really reconsidering your decision to invest in somebody that is not audited or hasn't done a KYC. Because as we all know, crypto, as amazing as it is and what it stands for, how amazing it can really be, there is a lot of opportunity for people to take advantage of new investors and experienced investors, but just making sure that you tick those necessary precautionary boxes beforehand. That was the goal, getting the audit as well as the KYC.
100%. All right, so let's see. How much currently? Yeah, we do need MySpace back, Luke. How much currently is the minimum requirement? I know it's 1 million tokens. 1 to 3 million tokens gets you in the whale room. How much is 1 million tokens currently?
Luke, do you have those numbers on hand?
Let me look them up. 15 seconds.
Let me check real quick. I can do the math quite quickly because luckily, our total supply is pretty easy to calculate based off of our market cap. How much?
$1,000.
Yes. So 1 million tokens. Yeah. Our market cap's sitting at 103K roughly.
Market cap is. Right.
Yeah, so about $1,000 there, and then that would also mean that to get the 3 million would be about 3,000.
Awesome, and that gets you the tier 1 access to the vault. So you're getting those high BAYC rewards when that unlocks. So that's pretty cool. What is what's that token currently trading for on
that token right now is trading for 55 cents.
55 cents.
They actually just took a pretty big hit. Everything right now is taking a pretty, look, we had a really good weekend. We pumped Bitcoin over 30K and Ethereum over 2K. BNB briefly touched $350. Like everything was looking good. So a little pullback is kind of expected. But the alts get hit so much harder than anything else. And high BAYC, it is ultimately an altcoin, right? So it's gonna experience those pullbacks a little bit harder than the blue chips. But that being said, we're gonna get more of it now in that vault because it's at a cheaper price. And then in turn, when everything starts to take off again, which I really do feel is shortly around the corner, then we're going to be seeing a lot bigger price increases, right? It works both ways. So when we do see an 11% drop in a 24-hour time period, yeah, that sucks. But that also means that in 24 hours we can get an 11% increase, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly. I'm hoping we get a nice bounce right here. Anyways, I'm getting wrecked on this long right now.
Hey guys.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man.
I did have one thing to say about the high BAYC token. So again, the goal here is to accumulate 1 million tokens to acquire a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT, right? So the way the vault's going to work is when it opens, that ARB ETH is going to be bridged onto ETH main, and then utilized to purchase those high BAYC tokens on the spot. And then from there, those tokens are going to be redistributed amongst the tier 1 holders. So regardless of what the price is at any point in time, the holders that are going to be in tier 1 that are going to receive them, they're going to be able to sell them on Uniswap or KuCoin if they so choose, right around the same price that they were bought for. So if price action is a concern for somebody, it won't be, because they'll be receiving those tokens at around the same price that they were paid for. And if tier 1 holders are fortunate enough to end up getting a nice bag of high BAYC tokens when it's down through those vault rewards, it's just going to get them that much closer to owning a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT, which is the entire premise behind this project here. We want to make sure that we set a system in place where just the common retail investor could actually have a shot at owning one of these things.
DCAing into something like that. Personally, if it was me, 1 million high BAYC tokens at this current price is, $550K. So I would probably just go and buy Bored Ape before I did that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
But, for people that really want one and they've only got, an extra $50 or something a week, they can DCA and keep DCAing into that and eventually obtain one, or sell their tokens and buy two.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the way to go. I hate to do this, guys, but I'm late for another call, so I'm going to have to wrap up my end. Luke, do you have anything more that you want to say?
No, man. I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we covered the grounds. We mentioned how we want to collab with Fracton Protocol. We've already entered into a discussion with them. We're looking to. I think once we start generating volume to their bottom line, things are really going to start taking shape, and that's how we're going to start with that first vault reward or that first vault opening. They'll see that we mean business. You mentioned the NFTs. We talked about supply economy, and then staking that's going to happen down the road. Some partnerships that we have, and some that we're not going to announce that's going to be happening very soon. I think you hit the nail on the head, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Then I'm just going to say thank you to Poppa and your community. But like I said, I am already 4 minutes late, so I do got a jet. One thing, though, if anybody has any questions at all surrounding the project or suggestions, please feel free to send me a DM. Gojira with 3 A's is my username. So at Gojira with 3 A's, and I'll get back to every single one of them. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm active all the time. Other than that, thank you so much, Poppa Stonks, and thank your community. And I look forward to chatting to anybody who jumps over to our Telegram and basically pushing this as far as I know we can take it. So thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming, and thanks for sharing.
Of course, anytime.
Open it up. If anybody has any questions, quick. Luke, if you're down to answer.
Absolutely.
Cover most things. So if anybody has anything that we did not go over, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away.
Let's do it.
And I think we've gone over just about everything. So, all right. Well, I'm going to end the recording. Luke, stick around for 1 minute. And I just want to say, everybody, thank you again for coming to Astronaut Lounge. This has been Poppa Stonks and Bored Arb Yacht Club. Please check out the Telegram, the Twitter, the website. Everything is posted here in the pinned. If you have any questions, you can ask in their chat. You can tag Luke in the chat. Questions will be in. All right. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for interrupting. It's cool, Koala. Earlier when you asked if you have any questions, well, the reason for the silence was these people literally nailed it. Although they dissected it properly, and so it's obvious that we don't have any questions. But there's one thing I would like to mention, everyone. I am an investor. And I have seen these people roll, and they roll it unlike anyone else out there in the space. And I know their intentions from their activity, from the way they have been proceeding in this space, supporting BAYC. And I literally see this project mooning real soon. And to Poppa Stonks, thank you so much for hosting this beautiful project. And to the BAYC leaders, just keep doing what you guys are doing. Wonderful. Thank you, guys.
And, I just want to back you up on that. I do see a lot of things going on in the background as well. It's kind of hard for me to ask questions I didn't already know the answers to. But
True.
They definitely have been, busting this out, man. They've pushing this pretty hard. So, I definitely give kudos to Luke on that. Guy, I don't know. He's in bed now, but he won't sleep. So, yeah, man, I'm excited to see where this goes. But yeah, let me go ahead and end the recording. Thank you guys so much for coming. Boom.